Yeah, so good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Hi. Get started in just a second. Case is just always having problems with live streaming on this thing. So, Anna, can you tell me if you see it on your Facebook? I'm gonna check right
Let me check my Facebook.
now. Oh,
Yeah.
I see it. We're good. Okay, you're good. You're good. Go for it, girl.
Okay, let me see. Let me share screen.
Let me do
Oh,
multiple. Sure, 1 second. Multiple. Okay, go for it.
all right. Oh, this one. All right, let me bring this up to please let me know if this doesn't sorry, brain. If this doesn't pop up as the normal slideshow. Do you see it okay?
Yep. See it good.
Okay, let me move this. So if there's moments of silence, and it might be because I'm actually moving the little Zoom screen around while actually giving the presentation. Well, good evening, everyone. Let me see. Oh, it is 7:01, so we're gonna get started. Our topic today is talent showcasing, showing off what brilliant abilities that you have that other people may not know about. And some pageants require a talent portion. For example, many are most familiar with Miss America system, but there are other pageant systems that have a talent portion as an optional, or it could be part of the overall score. So we're going to help you discover some of the pieces with showcasing your talents along this presentation. So it's great to see everyone here today. Okay, so unleashing your inner star. Everybody has a passion, everybody has a talent that they're quite familiar with, but sometimes might be afraid to share it with the world for fear of judgment or whatever it might be. But guess what? That's the best piece about yourself because not only does it show your own uniqueness, but also you might you might surprise yourself and you could inspire others and unlock your full potential to achieve greatness in whatever it may be. So, embracing individuality. We're really big about this in pageantry, not just in the talent portion. It's so important. We say your biggest power really is you being you because there's nobody else out there like you in the world. So, here are some things that we can figure out when it comes to determining what sets you apart from the rest. Something you can look at while evaluating yourself is highlighting your own unique skill sets. Think about personal storytelling. What in your life happened that might have had such a huge impact in you that it's just causing reverberations into your future self and inspiring you to be a better person in whatever aspects you're working on. So, perfect story or example would be the current winner for Miss America. If you ever get a chance, she did a personal storytelling piece. Like it was a poem of sorts. And she exhibited a lot of emotion, inflection of voice, and it was very impactful. And that's one piece or a type of talent that you could incorporate. Creative expression. Once again, there's so many different types of creative expression, whether it is through dance, whether it is through speaking, whether it is like what body language, there's so many different ways we can go about it. Customized presentation. Think about your audience as you're doing that and think about how could you really set yourself apart and at the same time hit the nail on the head with what you're trying to address or what talent you're trying to showcase. You definitely, when it comes to embracing individuality, you come to head with vulnerability. And honestly, in my personal opinion, being your most authentic self, you have to embrace those vulnerable sides of you. Then at the same time, you can challenge the norms. Okay, there was one Miss America who did a scientific or STEM experiment on stage, which is so not typical for a talent portion. And that was part of her winning routine. Discover your passion. So there is a difference between being good at something and not loving it versus being passionate about something and loving it. So, what you will have to figure out for yourself is whether, let's say, for example, I'm great at dancing, but I don't love it. I probably shouldn't use that as a talent, but I love poetry and I'm good at it too. So that's something I want to pursue. And if I want to do a stage performance giving a poetic monologue, I could do that. So you just need to figure out, and sometimes even test things out you wouldn't really be interested in. That's how you figure out your interests. With, for example, track and field. Some of these kids that I'm training had never competed at a meet before or have never tried out different events. But you don't know if you're good at something and that you'll love it unless you try it out first. So I say try something once, as long as it's safe and all that other good stuff, right? So explore your interests, find your passion, engage in activities that really bring you joy and just makes or creates a spark within yourself to just try. And I don't know, I just think everybody should try something new and fun that gives them joy. Nurturing your talents. Okay, so just like anything, and Coach Case and I are like this, whether it's walking, even if you're good at something, you still need to train. You still need to practice. You still need to make progress, and the only way to make progress is through practice. So, a hard work beats talent every single time. So, invest your time and effort in honing your skills and talents. It's important to have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset, basically, a, an example of something growth mindset is I may not be good at this now, or I might be struggling with this portion of my talent, but I know I will be better with continued practice. That's more a growth mindset. Fixed mindset is like, I'm not good at this and I will never get better. And this is just where we're at. So there's no point in training or practicing. So that's more fixed mindset. So that's the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. So it's important to work on learning and making improvements over time. Overcoming challenges. Okay, so we really, really should take on challenges as opportunities. Truly, because honestly, success doesn't happen without failure. You're gonna fall so many times. If you're gonna try something and it scares you, do it twice over. I'm telling you, because it helps you with overcoming that self-doubt and fear of failure. Because failure is part of the process of learning. And without failure, you'll never have success, right? It's just part of the equation. We need to identify any potential obstacles that you may encounter. And with that identification, preparation is so important physically and mentally. Now, there are two pieces which we can address later when it comes to the mental preparation. Definitely take the opportunity to seek the support that you need, whether it's through if you are a singer, right? And you have a voice coach, like seek the support that you need to work on the things that you might not be as strong at. Adaptability. There's going to be times that you're going to have to make changes and you have to be open to change. You have to be open to constructive criticism in order to grow. And once again, mistakes are learning opportunities. They do build that resilience. And with that practice from mistake after mistake and learning from the mistake, you're going to be a better person overall in general in mindset and your own self-confidence because you know what you've been through to get to where you are today. Expressing creativity. So it's important to find your own way of expressing creativity because if it's not coming from you in your own way, is it really you? Don't be afraid to share your talents with the world. Definitely use your imagination for sure. And it will help you unleash your inner star self. You do have to embrace change, and it's natural human condition. They've done studies psychologically. Change is hard. However, if you embrace the change as an opportunity to grow, you'll be quite amazed at how much you learn about yourself in adapting and new skill sets that you develop. Seeking inspiration. Oh, I'm sure there's so many different people who may inspire you. So we highly recommend you surround yourself with inspiring individuals. Who you hang out with is really important. You want to be surrounded by people who support you. There is one Olympic athlete, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he did bobsledding. And he said that he would tell people his dreams. And when certain individuals laughed at him or said it was impossible, he said note to self, I'm just not going to deal with those people. I'm going to be surrounded by people who, even though my dreams sound 100% crazy, I'm going to work really hard and I'm not going to surround that myself around people who don't believe in me and have that kind of negativity because who you surround yourself with is super important and has a huge impact when you're chasing after your goals. Of course, with any dream, you do have to put the hard work. It just doesn't happen automatically. But when it comes to trying to figure out inspiration for your talent and creativity, it is important to find different sources to help fuel that passion. I would take a look at different performances. For example, if you're a singer, different performances, different octaves, different types of singing. There's classical, there's blues, there's jazz. There's just so many different ways you can go about it. Uh, think about how it affects you internally. Did it give you goosebumps? Did it make you angry? All these different things because it helps you give you an idea what kind of impact you want to leave when you're giving off your talent to your future audience. You can definitely learn from others' techniques, and it's important. And I find cultural expressions just figuring all of that out can help you cultivate a very unique experience with your talent portion by including different perspectives. I think if you have like a wide range of different perspectives going into your talent when it comes to figuring out what you want to do, you can definitely provide a unique experience to the audience on stage. Sharing your gifts. Okay, once again, you need to identify your strengths. Also we don't say weaknesses, we say room for improvement, right? That's important. But we focus on your strengths because your strengths will outshine your weaknesses, right? Once again, preparation is important. Authentic expression. How it's coming up from you. How are you using inflection in your voice? How are you using your body language when you're actually performing? Some are not singers, some may be dancers, right? Facial expressions. We also teach this with walking, with pageants. And the same thing with interview. Body language is like what? Over 92% what people read. And then next is tone. And then last is what you say. Engaging the audience and visual presentation to promote positivity is important. It's also very important to celebrate diversity. There's so many different talents and abilities out there, and it's awesome when you are out there supporting others and for their own unique talents I can't talk today, unique talents and performances. And it's just really interesting to learn about different people's cultures and just get educated on them as you watch people perform different routines. Some show from their cultures, like in the um, Indian culture with their interpretive dance, or like some, if let's say, like I'm just gonna use myself, I'm Puerto Rican, right? And let's say I want to do like a salsa number, so everybody has their own way of interpreting their own cultural background and histories and stories through different means of performances. Okay, choreography fundamentals. For those who do choreography for their talent, it's really important to keep in mind the type of music, the rhythm of the music, what kind of emotion is that song evoking? Are you mimicking the words, the emotions, all those things to that song? Does it match? That's really important. The narrative through movements, that's really important. Making sure you are aware of what you need to do to take the whole stage. I've seen performances for talent where some girls use one part of the stage and not the whole stage. So it's really important that you're planning for formations and transitions to utilize the entire stage effectively. Rehearsal techniques for success. You do need to practice multiple times, not necessarily multiple times a day, but multiple times a week. It's important to, just like going to the gym or brushing your teeth, you got to just keep at it, because if you keep at it, you're going to have continuous improvement. You're going to have to probably break things down baby steps, and that's okay. Breaking down the choreography into manageable sections for detailed work. And then we have a feedback loop, right? Implementing a system for constructive critique and adjustments from peers and directors. Now, I wouldn't take necessarily seriously critiques from people who may not be as familiar on the topic, but I would take more seriously, like, let's say you're a dancer, right? And you're getting critiqued from friends who are not familiar with dance. There's some things you can take, but I would take more seriously someone who has the expertise in dance. Okay, so enhancing performance quality, dynamic range, showing, so for dance, that would be showing different aspects of your performance, like strength, power, flexibility, uh, grace, using the whole stage? Does what you're dancing to the song and your actual movement match? Um, Singing dynamic range would be different octaves, right? How your range of your voice, and are you reaching the appropriate pitch for your song? All that other good stuff. By practicing over and over, it will become muscle memory. And then mental imagery. It's important to visualize. And there's two parts to visualization. There's conceptual and then there's processing. So the conceptual piece is imagine yourself on stage practicing, let's say as a dancer, you're practicing your movements, you know your movements. You've practiced it over and over again, but you imagine and envision yourself on that stage, how it would feel, how it would smell, what are you like, how are you breathing, all those other aspects. And then you also imagine and visualize yourself succeeding. That's really important too. Dress rehearsals. That's really important with costumes. We don't want any mishaps with costumes or attire while on stage. And with those dress rehearsals, if you have a mishap, maybe you can make alterations to your costume or attire prior to, or come up with something completely different if you're having issues in that respect. So dress rehearsals are really important. Now, when it comes to embracing who you are to shine like a star, I know it sounds cliche, you have to just allow yourself to show the world, show that vulnerable side of yourself. Don't be afraid to show that talent that you have and display your creativity and your individuality because they really are valuable contributions to the world. In conclusion, by embracing your unique talent, you let your creativity shine and you inspire others to do so. So, any questions? Yeah, no, I can see you. Sorry.
Nope,
Let me
nope.
let me put my volume higher. Okay, there we
I don't
go.
see any in the Facebook group either. I think you're
Okay. So it's question answer time. Coach Kies, if you were to compete in a pageant that had a talent portion, have you thought about what talent you would like to showcase?
dance.
Dan,
I'm too shy to sing, but I know Kalea loves to sing, so she can have that. I'm too shy.
no, I understand. If it were me, I would sing as well.
Oh, she's wondering if she should do a classical or R&B. If personally, if you're doing America, I would say classical song,
Are
like
you,
some kind of like a pop, like a like think of Billboard 100 kind of thing.
hmm,
Uh, what do you think, Anna?
well, if you want, Leia, I think we should hear both and see which one vibes with you more. Because I do agree with Coach Case, like classical is more typical for Miss America. But if you have favorite songs that are classical and R&B, you can, what if you did like a mix, right? Like if you can combine the two, that would be kind of cool. Oh, I love Whitney Houston. Okay. So Kalea said I was gonna pick two songs to show you guys like Whitney Houston. Perfect. We would love that. And I'll give you my honest feedback. I know you're a singer. I'm a closet singer. I used to do Glee Club for the Naval Academy, and I had to try out and all that stuff, but I I'm not like classically trained or anything like that, but I am familiar with a lot of the different techniques. And my husband is an audio engineer. So he can tell when you're singing through your nose or singing through your diaphragm. So sometimes when I'm singing, he's like, Anna, you need to sing with your diaphragm. I'm like, oh, okay. So I will give you like we both obviously will give you honest feedback. Oh yeah, perfect. I'm open to critiques. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give you honest feedback on that. And I just think it's really exciting what you're trying to pursue, Kalea. I'm glad you're going after your dreams,
America's definitely the pageant if you want to showcase that talent.
right? It is. It is. Oh, it's okay. It's so, you know what? I would be concerned if you weren't nervous. Yeah, she said, thank you. I'm so nervous. I would
Yeah.
be concerned if you weren't nervous. And
Yeah.
totally, I sang a national anthem multiple times for different ceremonies, and I have messed up once or twice. And I'm like, I know the national anthem. I've practiced it over and over, and I know it sounds terrible, but sometimes we have one of those moments where your brain just like it just freezes. So that's why it's important to practice and just keep doing it over and over again to the point where like something like that wouldn't happen, or if something like that happens, it wouldn't phase you and just keep going.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Well, I mean, so basically, yeah, like I would say, put together the two Whitney songs that you're thinking about. Oh, perfect. You have a voice coach. Perfect.
Oh, good, good.
Are you
Yeah.
soprano or alto? Like I'm like a mezzo. I think I'm like a mezzo soprano.
Oh, me? I'm a
No,
soprano
me.
one. Oh, you? You.
Well, yeah, I was saying like for me, I'm like a mezzo soprano. Or
Mezzo
what
soprano. Oh, you're a mix of both. Nice.
about you, Anna?
I'm a soprano one, and I could do alto, but I'd like more higher pitch. Like I could do operatic stuff, like high pitch operatic stuff.
Mm. So
Hmm.
Mariah Carey.
No, not like more. I'm definitely not as high as no, no, no.
What about you, Kalea? Can you go as high as Mariah Carey? Or I mean, Whitney's pretty high. Which
Whitney's
Whitney's like
pretty
a
high.
Whitney's pretty. Oh, she said yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
that's
I
amazing.
can't wait to
Wow.
I can't wait to hear this song.
Me too. So, thank you for sharing and participating, Kalea, and you as well, Coach Case. So, here is our homework for this week. Step one, what is your talent and how long have you been doing it? And be real now. Don't be shy. If there's like a hidden talent, like you're like, "Oh, I'm a singer." But really, I'm a closet poet and I've been wanting to publish some works, right? So, and then step two is to post a picture or video of you doing that talent. Now, I know that's something that's really scary, especially if it's something that is really close to you, but you are in a safe space with us girls, so don't be afraid to do it. I guess maybe I should do it too, Coach K, so everybody feel safe. I mean, you're not required to. You're not required to, but you know what? I think I will I'll participate in this homework as well. So, oh, sorry, you were saying something, Coach? I think
I didn't realize I was on mute. I was saying that I have to find it, but I have like footage of me. The last singing footage I have was footage of me at my high school talent show, and my voice cracked, and I was like, ah, my voice cracked. Like the person that I was doing the duet with looked at me, and he was like, I was just
it's like,
like,
girl,
I was
what?
like, I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it together. Like I had to tell myself in that split second that, girl, if you don't get it together, they're gonna boo you off the stage. So you better just go ahead and sing.
Exactly,
But after that, I
exactly.
was just like, oh, I need to. I'm just gonna dance.
Dancing and singing at the same time is really hard. I learned that through
Yeah,
we
it's
uh,
true.
it's like it's like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. It's the craziest thing. So I can understand when somebody lip syncs to their song. Yeah. So
Britney
anyway,
Spears.
oh yeah, Britney Spears. Yeah. So for this homework, the bonus is training time. You get a 30-minute Zoom training session for free. So you have to do step one and step two, and this has to be posted before midnight on Friday. Is that correct, Coach Case? Midnight
Yes,
on
yes,
Friday? Okay,
yes.
perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And if you wish to continue with training, let
We
us
have
know.
Coach Kathy coming on next. So just stay tuned, or you can hop off and catch the replay.
Mhm.
And thank you so much, Anna.
You're
I think
welcome.
Coach Kathy is actually on now.
Okay.
So we will turn it over to, hi, Coach Kathy. Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, hi, good afternoon, good evening. So happy to see all of you. Yeah, that's great. It's absolutely beautiful. Spring is definitely here. It's just so good to be around and about and doing things. So this is a time of year that we feel like being outside. We feel like being healthy. And so, perfect discussions in our wellness coaching here on what to do with yourself and your health to really take advantage of what's available, because if you aren't healthy, then you don't feel like taking a walk, even though a walk would be good for you. And so you really it's they kind of balance each other back and forth like that. So very, very good here. Wanted to touch base on a little bit from the email I sent for last week, which is all about determining your vitamin needs. And there are, ways that you can tell whether or not that you have enough vitamins in your system, be they vitamins that you get from your diet or vitamins that you get from supplementation. And so, five signs that you need a multivitamin that I had posted last week or put in the email were that you're not sleeping well, that you have very low energy, your mood is not in sync with what you want it to be, your hair and your skin just kind of get a dull or an ashen look to it, and your immune system feels poor. You feel like you're getting, every cold that comes around. Now, this is not consistent. We all have nights where we just don't sleep well. Either we're up worrying about something, or maybe we just for some reason, or we're thinking about even something happy you're thinking about. There's reasons you don't sleep well. So if you have one night or two nights, not to worry. Maybe taking some vitamins or increasing your diet, for more fruits and vegetables could be helpful, but it's not necessarily, a sign that you are really, really poor in your vitamins. But when you are consistently not sleeping well and you're consistently having low energy, even though you do eat well, you can say, well, I eat proteins and I eat healthy carbs and I stay away from refined sugars as much as possible. And yet I still just can't seem to get out of bed in the morning, or my feet drag by 3 in the afternoon. Well, maybe that is a sign that no matter how well you are eating, your body is still craving something. And this goes back to what we talked about earlier in with the vitamins, and even last month with nutrition, is that you don't know what your body is fighting against underneath it all. You don't know that you came across, there was a cold. The person next to you at the grocery store line had a cold. Whether they breathed on you, sneezed on you, shook hands with you, or nothing, but just the fact that it's in the air. You don't know that your body is fighting that. And maybe you won't ever get that cold, which is what we hope. But still, in that fighting process, you're now working, instead of working at 100%, your body's working at 80% because that other 20% is keeping you from getting that cold. And so there's that. Or maybe you have a muscle strain. You went on a nice long hike and your muscles are feeling sore. And so of course you take it easy a little bit, and then and so the next day you get up and you're like, okay, my muscles aren't sore anymore, but there still might be a little bit of underlying soreness, not enough for you to notice, but your body is finishing that repair process. And that by doing that, it's focusing on putting its energy towards that. And then you feel like you have low energy for the day. The same thing can happen with mood, where you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden you're kind of feeling a little bit off. Well, are you feeling a little bit off because it's that time of the month? Which is another good reason to take vitamins, because they can help your mood with that too, and regulate that. But are you feeling a little bit off because your body is fighting this cold? Your body is finishing the repair on that sore muscle because you took that wonderful hike in the park on a spring afternoon. So, what is your body doing underneath that you don't realize that is then? So, in doing that, it's then you're like, well, your mood just doesn't feel like happening, because you're just working with the one instead of the other. The same thing with dull hair and skin. When you are in need of something with your body, be your body will it's a survival of the fittest, and it wants to work with the core. So all of your internal organs, heart, obviously, stomach, liver, kidney, pancreas, all of that are the most important things, and your brain are the most important things to your lungs, I guess also. Yeah, that would be helpful. Are the most important things to your body. And if you have, however many milligrams, let's say, I don't know, number, let's say 200 milligrams of a particular vitamin. And in normal world, that is enough to take care of your core and give a little bit to your hair and your skin and your nails, then your body will do that. But if something is stressing out, maybe you ate something or drank something that is making your liver work harder, or maybe you are fighting this underlying cold or something. Now your body says, okay, my liver needs to work harder. I need to give it more of those milligrams of whatever vitamin that is that I got from eating that beautiful salad that I ate. And now it doesn't have any left over to give to your hair and your skin and your nails. So when you start seeing that happening, it could be your skincare or your hair care. There's obviously products that you can use that are going. So you need to start making this analysis. Well, have I changed my hair care products? Have I changed my skincare products? Have I been using a different type of nail polish or nail polish remover? What is affecting that? But when you have kind of eliminated those things, then you need to think about, well, maybe there's something inside that I don't know about, but just in case, I should take a multivitamin, or I should take specific vitamins that will then boost that up so that my body gives everything it can to the core. And wow, it has some left over, so it will give it to my hair, skin, and nails. So you can see that. And then poor immune function. If you are constantly sniffling, you feel like you're getting every cold that's coming around the block, and whether you get a full blown cold or flu, or you just kind of feel off and you just like, oh, I've got some sinus issues today, then your body's immune system needs to get an extra boost. And even that, we're in spring, so we've got all the flowers and we've got all the pollen. And here in Northern Virginia, every day I go out to my car and it's green. The windows are green. I have to do the windshield wipers every morning because of the pollen. So, even that can affect. And in fact, the symptoms that you get, if you notice for an allergy, whether you have allergies or if you have friends or family that do, the symptoms that people get for an allergy, scratchy throat, stuffy nose, sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, are very similar to symptoms that you get for colds and sometimes flus. You can get the scratchy throat, which turns into the sore throat, and it's not. And so, by boosting your immune system with vitamins and nutrition, you can ward off not only the cold and flu viruses and bacterias and help your body fight against those, but it can also improve your allergies. This actually, a personal story here, this actually happened in my family to me and my son. And actually, my daughter has some benefit of this too. But the biggest stories are me and my son. I had allergies since I was a kid. Was taking all the over the counter things, and when I started taking vitamins and boosting up certain vitamin combinations, the supplements, I got rid of all my allergies. I don't have allergies anymore because of that. My system is so attuned to that. And I still do take the vitamins, but even, I just don't even feel them coming along. My son was the same way. He actually had allergies worse than I did. And I had him, this is before I really got into nutrition and the vitamins, had him on over the counters to the point where I had to give the school nurse the medicine so that I would give him some in the morning. It's like, for kids, it's not as much, that it's like a 4 hour type thing. So I would give him a dose in the morning, and the school nurse would give him a dose at lunchtime so that he could go out and be at recess with his friends. And then I'd have to give him some more again in the evening. And it was killing me that I was putting all these drugs into him. And this was the same time I was learning and getting rid of my own allergies. So I started him on a real hefty vitamin regime, as well as watching, obviously, as a good mom, everything that he is eating and drinking, and his sugar intake and all of that. And we started working on this routine, and he just started to not need the over the counters anymore, the medicines, to the point where the school nurse at the end of school has to give the parents back all of their all of the medications that she has, and of course locked up and signed out and everything. And she came up to me the last day of school. She says, "I don't have any thing to give back because you didn't give anything to me this year." And he was in sixth grade. So she had been doing this for 5, 6 years now. And I was like, well, because he doesn't need them anymore. So this was the kid who couldn't go outside without having any medication at all. I mean, even sometimes if it was bad enough just to go from the house to the car, and our driveway's not that far away, he would get itchy, watery eyes, and his eye. I mean, we almost had to, like, do the cold compresses to start and flush out the pollen from his eyes. He was having that kind of an issue where he could really, really not play outside hardly, for any length of time without be outside without the medication. So this is this kid who said he wanted to be a Boy Scout, and he wanted to join. He was in Cub Scouts, wanted to join the Boy Scout troop that liked to camp every month. He was able to join that troop. He was able to get this. He started a lawn mowing business in our neighborhood and had, like, besides our own lawn, had like 4 or 5 regular customers. And he rarely, if ever, unless he had to do like 2 lawns in one day, and then he might take the over the counter just to help with the immediate issue. But other than that, he was just, continuing taking his vitamins so that he could mow these lawns, earned his own money, was able to pay his own way to the Boy Scout Jamboree, his own way to Philmont Boy Scout Camp for a week long, or actually 10 days there hiking. So he was able to do that and be outdoors. And even to this day, he and his brother, they hike and camp. They go out in the spring, in the summer, in the fall. Sometimes it's on day trips. They've done, several days in a row. So that's my story. And that's why I am so passionate about all of this nutritional stuff, because being outside, being healthy, drinking water, getting exercise, and having good nutrition, but why I'm so interested in sharing about how if you need the supplementation, have the right vitamin supplementation, because this is what can happen to your life. You can turn your life around. And of course, he was our oldest. So the fact that he was able to now be outside meant that the other two are able to be outside as, with us as a family. So as a family, we can go hiking and camping. And, the other one joined Boy Scouts, and Sophie is a dancer. But she loves to hike and camp as well, and be outside. So this is the thing that can happen. And so when you see things in your life patterns, then it's time to think, what can I do to improve that? Having low energy doesn't mean grabbing the latest Red Bull or whatever energy drink. Uh, it does, having a mood disturbance, issues, in your mood. Although a giant, a pint of Ben and Jerry's is absolutely delicious, probably not the healthiest for you. So, if you're having on an ongoing basis, so if you're constantly not sleeping well, don't necessarily, go for a medicative sleep aid, but, try and figure out what else can I do, because vitamins and nutrition can play a huge part in having you be the person that you want to be, because your body you're ensuring that your body gets all of the nutrition that you want to have. So I sent along last week a nutritional coaching assessment worksheet. Nobody, if you're interested, take that. You can keep the results to yourself. You can share the results with me or with Coach Kies, Coach Anna. You can post them on Facebook if you want. It really set up that you answer it. There's 10 questions, ABC, and then you score it. And depending on your score, lets kind of how you're doing right now. And the thing is that this can change from, year to year, or maybe after several years, if you're in school versus after school, you've graduated versus, at different ages in your life, you can reassess based on how your life is going as to whether or not you need some additional nutrition, or, would do well with having some personal wellness coaching. So there's, there you can really check this out for yourself. The other piece I'd like to discuss tonight is how to determine what kind of vitamin you take, not so much whether it's vitamin A or vitamin C or a multi, but to look at how you know whether you are getting a good vitamin product. Because you go to the grocery store shelf, or you even go to the health food store shelf, and there are so many options out there. And of course, at the grocery store, there's going to be nobody who knows anything about what's on the shelves. And if you go to a nutritional store, maybe somebody knows, but maybe not, depending on the store. The person behind the counter could just be somebody who is there because they needed a job, and more power to them for picking a job that gets them around health and wellness products. But unless they personally have done the research, they might not know how good any one individual product is. They might be able to tell you, oh, this product is more popular, or we sell a lot of this product, or, I tried this one and it tasted good, but just because it tastes good doesn't mean it's good for you. And so there are some things that you want to look for, and this can involve a little bit of research, but you want to research the company that's behind it. A lot of products are they want to make sales, and so they do a lot of advertising. And advertising isn't necessarily bad, but you would really do well if you could find a product that, instead of doing a ton of advertising, takes that money and puts it into research and development, where they do internal studies on their products, and that they do look at very closely not only what is in the product, but how the product affects people's bodies. And they do their own studies, and they might even have somebody else do a study for them, like a double blind study. So there are companies that do that. And so those are the ones that you would want to look at. You want a company that not only there's studies out there that say, well, we'll use something very common. Vitamin C can help, because we can never say 100%. You cannot, there are very few things that you can say 100% on. One of them that you can say 100% on is calcium can help prevent osteoporosis. I know that that's one that people are allowed to say, but there's a lot of things that it's circumstantial evidence, so you can never say 100%. So if you have a vitamin company that is doing claims like, taking vitamin C will definitely stop your cold. Um, no, they cannot make those claims, and so you should be leery of that. What they can say is that, a lot of people, or there have been studies that people who have colds can benefit, and will sometimes get extra relief or quicker relief. So watch their advertising so that you know that they are being true to the rules of how the advertising is done. Food and Drug Administration does not require vitamins to go through um, any specific classifications or any specific testing. So it is all done by the companies or by third-party people. And so you will see, I don't think Consumer Reports does this, but you will see the equivalent of Consumer Reports taking a look at, several different vitamin brands. And they will, do their own studies and say things, but then you have to be careful about if they have any kind of an agenda ahead of time there. The other thing you want to look at is how much synthetic vitamin is in your vitamin. So there are ways that you can synthesize vitamins, and your body knows the difference between natural vitamins and synthesized vitamins. And the best way that I saw this explained a number of years ago, was you have a lemon, and you have a real lemon, and then you have the lemon, that lemon juice in the bottle with the little top on it that you can squeeze. And then you have a plastic lemon, like you might find in a doll house, or a kitchen, like a kid's, play kitchen. And so the real lemon is a real lemon. And the lemon juice is a real lemon. The juice is real, but how was it taken out of that lemon? How was, what process was done? What kind of preservatives are in there to make sure that it doesn't go rancid while it's on your shelf, while you're waiting to use up that 4 ounces worth of lemon juice that's in there? And are there any artificial flavors and things like that? You would, need to read the labels on that. And then you've got the plastic lemon, which is obviously a plastic lemon. And yet you could crush that up and say, well, it was a lemon and now I've crushed it up. So that one is like your synthesized vitamin. And maybe you've done something magically to it when you're synthesizing it so that it is real vitamin C. We're using the lemon, so we'll talk about C. The lemon in the lemon juice is real, but what kind of preservatives have they done? Are there any other fillers, artificial things in there as well? So are you getting 100% lemon juice or vitamin C in this case, when you use that kind of a vitamin? Or was your vitamin extracted from a real lemon, where they basically, vitamin C and orange, vitamin C from oranges and lemons and limes and all the citruses, was it just squozen, air dried, and then you end up with vitamin C? So that's the difference there. And then the other thing is the process that is used to extract that vitamin C. There are many companies that I've been told where they actually use high pressure and high heat to extract the vitamins from whatever the source is, be they lemons or broccoli or wherever, that use high pressure and high heat. And what this does is the pressure does provide pressure, and it can deteriorate the vitamin that you're trying to extract, and the heat can burn it, kill it, desensitize it. It just becomes innate, and it's no longer a viable vitamin for you to take. So you want to look for a company that uses a low heat extraction, might use a water extraction. Do not find one that uses an alcohol extraction, but one that uses a water extraction, and that uses a low pressure where they gently squeeze, this through. And so there's not, so now you are getting a viable vitamin at a usable level. Because what will happen then is you will see on the side of a bottle, well, we have 200 milligrams of X, particular vitamin. And but if you start to test, and people will take these and they will test, if you start to test the tablets, there isn't 200 milligrams in there. And that is because of a viable, usable vitamin. And additional testing that people will do is, if you take those vitamins, they'll measure blood, how much vitamin C or E or whatever is in your blood. And then you take the vitamin, and then sometimes they will test a couple hours later, or you take it for several days and they'll test it, how much vitamin is in your blood. And if there's no vitamin in your blood, then that means that you weren't getting any vitamin in. Now, there is the argument that maybe your body has used up that vitamin, but a good testing cycle will allow for that and adjust for that so that they can determine where this is coming from. And this is when we talk about testing, we go back to, is the company doing these tests? Is the company sending their vitamins to somebody else to do these tests? Or is there a generic test out there, and then the company just says, well, if we put this much vitamin in, it's going to be good for you because this other company, and standard has said that that's how much vitamin C or A or B we should put into our vitamin. And so if the company needs to have a lot of good quality control on what is happening with the vitamins, so that, because what you want is, you want a company that will guarantee you that if there's 200 milligrams of, say, vitamin C in each tablet, that in the first tablet you take out, and 30 days later the last tablet you take out will have 200 milligrams of vitamin C. And that would be the same for bottle after bottle after bottle. Not so much of an issue with some of the basic vitamins like vitamin C or A or whatever, but you get into, there are some vitamins and some herbs where, I've been told, I can't quote you where, it's just in my memory, where there have been studies done where there's like, it says X on amount on the bottle, and there's there's almost none in one, and more than that in another one when they start checking the vitamins out. So that's going to be very important to look at. Also, the quality of the source material. When they get their oranges and grapefruits and broccoli and cauliflower and eggplant, or wherever else they get, whatever product they get to source from, what is the quality of that? Is it organic, or is it better than organic? Is it naturally sourced? Were chemicals used on those products that will then, potentially slightly leach into your vitamin? And so a company that is cautious and careful about where their products are sourced from, that they're, non-chemical, that they're that they are organic or better than organic, close to organic. There's different ways depending on what the source is, but there's different ways to check that out. That so that's the source. And then, as I said, the processing. How is it processed in the plant? Is it an alcohol extraction, a water extraction, a heat extraction? So that when you get the tablets, that they are pure and good and healthy for you. And why is this all important? Well, this is similar to what we were, talking about in nutrition in general, where you've got whether you're eating, real food versus always eating fast food, or you're eating a lot of cookies and candies and things that, come in boxes, and who knows all the preservatives that are in there versus baking your own cookies where you know where they come from. And so, where are you sourcing your life essence from? Where are you sourcing the foods and nutrition that you eat? And so, if you are careful, want to be careful about that, when you're looking for a nutritional supplement, then you also want to look for that as well. Because if it's going to be concentrated into this little tablet, everything is going to be concentrated into the little tablet. Oh, wow. So that's a lot. I know there are companies out there that do the right thing. If you have any questions and want me to share some of the research that I've done, and then the company that I get all my vitamins from, because it checks all these boxes real nicely, I would be happy to talk with you and reach out to you on that. But other than that, I am done for homework. I think it would be good if you have vitamins at home. Then I am think it would be good for you to maybe take a look at the vitamin brands that you have. And you don't need to spend, I mean, I've spent, this is my business. I have spent time researching. But maybe just get on Google and find out, just a little bit about the company. See if you can go to the company's home website and see if you can find in the About Us and different things, and see if you can find a little bit about some of their sources of how they do testing or materials, things like that. That would be really interesting. And then just post in the Facebook page, like, I did have some vitamins, and my vitamin company is good, or wow, that, you made me think on this one. I might need to look for a different vitamin than the one that I have. But let's see if you can do a little bit of your own research on the vitamins that you have in-house.
I have a question in the chat, Coach Kathy.
Sure.
Talia asked, she takes women's one a day. Is that actually healthy?
So, okay, yeah, I'm just looking at okay, oh golly, a lot of things here. So a woman's one a day. I'm not. See, I don't want to necessarily demean a lot of other companies. So that is not one that I personally would recommend. That's not the one that I would use. I can't say specifically because I don't remember when I was doing this research. It was a number of years ago before I hooked into the company that I get my vitamins from. So but I don't, if it's something, a general rule of thumb is that, a lot of companies are trying really hard, but because of the constraints of trying to do all the marketing and to fit on the grocery store shelves, they may not be doing as well as some others. So I would that would be your homework, is to go ahead and take a look at who makes women's one a day. Are they a vitamin only company, or does the company have other products that are, and I can't remember who does them, have other products, but see what you can find out about them. And then, yeah, we can have a discussion based on your findings, and I'll do a little research on them as well. I'll make sure that I check on that one, the women's one a day.
So can you just say for one more time what homework will be? Is it,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sure. So, yeah, Kalela, I know what your homework is going to be. You're going to check out that women's one a day. So, if you've got vitamins on your shelf, go ahead and pull them down and just get on the internet, do a little search, find the company's website, and see what you can find out about them, and see if you're looking for, to see if they say anything about where they source their material from. You're looking for to see if they say anything about the testing they've done, or if they have other people do testing or on their products, or if they just take, if they start citing other people's materials. The company that I use, they do their own testing in house. They also have sent vitamins to UC Berkeley to do double-blind studies. And in order to do that, UC Berkeley said, well, good, bad, or indifferent, once we do this, we have to publish this. And so it was very risky because if it came up really bad, we were stuck. The company was stuck and had to, live with the results. And of course, it came back very positive. So the company was very happy about that. But that's what I mean by having somebody else do the study for you. So you do that, but see what you can find out about them. Some companies are going to be more forthcoming than others. And that's when, if you don't see a lot of information, that should make you question, because a company that is doing all the right things should be more open and honest about the studies. The company that I get my vitamins from, you can say, show me your studies, and they will give you a list of 100 some odd peer reviewed published studies in Journal of American Medicine and this and that and the other publication where they've done the study and it's been published. So you're looking for people who have transparency in what they do. And then and then if you don't have any vitamins at home, and I know some people don't, then there's brands. Go to your local grocery store, or just type in vitamins in the search bar, and up will come a number of different brands. And then pick a brand and see what research you can do on that, and just let us know. In the homework would be to say, I checked out, and again, I don't know if we necessarily want to totally disparage certain vitamin companies, but you can say, I checked out my multivitamin, or I checked out my, vitamin B, or I checked out my vitamin C. And tell us where you got it from. It was from it's a common vitamin off the grocery store shelf, or I got it at the local, and I know Vitamin Shop is the name of a company, but there's other places too, but I got it at the local vitamin store, or I got it at a health food store. And therefore we know, what that expectation is. And then you can tell us, I might say, I checked out my vitamin C, I got it off the grocery store shelf. Here's, I couldn't find anything from the company. All it was advertising, but there was no research on it. Or I got it from the local vitamin shop and vitamin store, and the company had a little bit of information, but it looks like they do a lot of taking third-party information, third-party studies, but I couldn't find anything about doing their own studies. So you do that, and I'll post the results for mine as well.
Perfect. Homework will be worth 15 free Zoom training minutes. So basically, as always, we like to make sure that they're just able to build up those training minutes so they get to either 30 or an hour. So if you do the homework this week, by Friday at midnight, you will get the 30 free training minutes for the pageant side, and then your additional 15 free training minutes on Zoom for the health, wellness, and nutrition side.
Great.
So thank you so much, Coach Kathy, for this wonderful presentation.
You're very welcome. I will, when I send out my email, I will also resend, because I talked at the beginning of the email from last week about, 5 signs of when you might need a multi, and the assessment. So I will send those back out because maybe with us having a week off and no Zoom call, people may not have seen that. So I think that's important. And then next week, I mean, I know we had talked earlier in the month about some basic vitamins that everybody is aware of, a multi, a B, a C. Next week I will go into some other vitamins that I feel are very important. They are what you might what is the word I want? I know there's a word for it, but they're vitamins that are a little bit maybe more unique based on a person's needs. So for example, I'm lactose intolerant, so I do need a lot more calcium. So why do I take a specific type of calcium versus another type of calcium? But there's other things, and that I will share some other kinds of nutritional products that, like what we talked about, the collagen is one that people don't think about a lot. So, other kinds of vitamins and nutrition beyond the ones that are the common ABCs, that so people are aware of what's out there, and then can determine, determine whether or not they might fit in their life.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Again, thank you so much, and also thank you for the emails. They're super good. And thank you all for being here, both on Zoom and on Facebook. We hope that y'all are having a great week, and hope that y'all have an even better rest of the week. And me and Coach Kathy will be checking out the homework answers in the Facebook group.
Yes.
So is there anything else you have for them, Coach Kathy?
I do not. Just get out, and if you're in a space like where I am right now, it's nice and bright and sunny and a beautiful 60-degree weather. So go outside and get your vitamin D the natural way.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week, and we shall see you soon.